Satisfy your appetite with a new season of the History Channel's popular series, The Food That Built America. Here to tell us all about it, we have food author Adam Richman. Good morning, Adam. We can't wait to find out all about it. So tell us about the show if someone has never watched it.
Okay, so here's what you are in for tonight and all Sundays from here on out. Food That Built America is basically one of the coolest ways to get the history of the most iconic foods and brands that truly built this country, built its culinary identity, built our, the way we eat at home, the brands we've come to know and love that we associate with certain moments in our lives, our childhood or vacations that we took. And it's a combination of facts and sort of supporting historical fact framework given by a bunch of experts and these really beautiful cinematic recreations. So it's one thing to talk about the moment that Reese's creates the peanut butter cup, but it's something entirely different to see it. It's one thing to talk about how someone's business nearly collapsed and that they were on the run from the law or someone was trying to kill them or what have you, and then suddenly you see it and you see the founder of Krispy Kreme taking an axe to the outside wall to make the first sort of drive-through window, or see Colonel Sanders fighting people off with a shotgun who are trying to rob him. So I think it's kind of an immediate way to look at food history, and you're going to learn facts about the foods you know and love that you never did before, and you won't look at a trip to the supermarket or any meal really the same way again.
So what can we expect out of this new season?
Oh my gosh. Well, this season's particularly special because even though it's all the food that built America, we touch a lot of the other things that food came in contact with culturally. So that means we go into spirits. We talk about Smirnoff vodka. We talk about Cuervo tequila, but we also talk about pet food. And we talk about this multi-billion-dollar industry and the incredible scientific breakthroughs and the incredible entrepreneurship that was shown. We talk about sporting goods. And the same thing, the way that these brands initially, may have been a brand of a glove or a brand of baseball and have since come to be cornerstones of American identity. And I really do believe, and I say this as someone who's been in the food industry off and on since I was about 10 years old. And so we're talking 3 decades plus of being interested in food. And I get inspired every single episode. So you're going to find out about the chicken sandwich wars that occurred between Chick-fil-A and Wendy's, and obviously with Popeyes, you're going to find out more about the effects of depression and prohibition and scarcity and plenty and the economy, and even things like how the creation of the Pop-Tart, it was full of like intrigue and corporate espionage and exploding toasters. It's just the best.
Now, when we learn about some of the people behind these brands or behind the food, did any of their origin stories really shock you?
Oh, so many of them. Throughout each season, there's always something that really blows me away. Most often, it's simply when every fiber of your being should say quit, should say give up, should say, this didn't work out for us or whatever, that these people plug on. It's just, there's a kind of unrelenting drive that these people have that really blow me away, that I find inspiring. But even little things like the creation of the first dog biscuit. There was a man who sold lightning rods by the last name of Spratt. He was American. Lightning rod salesmen were seen as somewhat shisty. He then goes to the United Kingdom to continue selling them there. And while walking the docks in Liverpool, he sees sailors throwing something called hardtack, which are these like really dense fibrous biscuits that they would eat on long ocean journeys that would, resist spoilage, and the sailors are throwing them to the dogs. And suddenly he gets inspired to create, he leaves this whole other field and just does a 180 and creates Spratt's Fibrine dog biscuits, and it becomes the very first dog food. And in so doing, changes our relationship with domestic pets for the first time in human history. And it sounds like a bit of an overstatement when you realize that up until just about the turn of the century, dogs were scavengers and cats were pest control. And suddenly, creating things like kitty litter and purpose-driven pet food makes them part of the home. And it's really kind of a beautiful thing.
Okay, so when and where can we watch The Food That Built America?
Food That Built America starts Sunday, February 19th, and airs every Sunday after that, 9/8 Central on History Channel. You better not miss it because you will miss out.
Adam, great talking with you. Thanks for sharing this on Studio 3.